I thought in the second period, even though we had a 1-0 lead, I think they started to take over the game a little bit in the second period. They stuck with their game and how they play and the things that they do well, and I thought we got away from it a little bit in the second period. As far as slipped away, I thought we played hard, but there were some areas that they were better than us at, and they're compete in the offensive zone. I think they kept pucks alive better than us. I think their defensemen did a better job getting pucks to the net than we did. It seemed like a lot of our shots got blocked. So whether it's their defense do a better job or their forwards do a better job at in that aspect, but I don't know if slipped away is the right term. I mean, I know we had a 1-0 lead, but I don't feel like we had a great grasp of it because they're a good team and it was fairly even up to that point.
Todd, given the way that they block shots and compete, as you mentioned, is there a more difficult team to get pucks to the net against? Do they make you pay a price that other teams don't, maybe?
Just in thinking back of other opponents that we played, I thought the LA Kings play that type of game too. They make it real hard on you in the offensive zone, and players are really committed to those shooting lanes. And it's not just third, fourth line guys doing it. It's all their forwards do it.
Todd, we talked earlier about this game being a litmus test, or one of many, going into the season, this being early in the season. Notwithstanding the score, did you like a good portion of what you saw today with them being able to compete with a team like the Boston Bruins?
In some areas, yeah. The first period, I came out of the first period happy. I thought we competed. They're going to get opportunities. They're going to get chances. But again, I think we started to do some undisciplined things where they stuck to their game, and I think we got away from it a little bit. And that's where they really test you about being disciplined with a high F3, forwards working back, managing the puck. And I thought we did a fairly good job in the first period, and I thought we got away from it in the second. We were better in the third. We had I liked the way that we pushed in the third to try to get the equalizer. And again, they make it really hard on you. But it was at second period I felt like we started to get away from the things that we had success with in the first period.
Como injured?
A lower body injury. He had a cut right above his ankle from another skate. And so we kept him out of the lineup, kept him out of the rest of the game just as a precaution, and he'll see a doctor tomorrow and get reevaluated then.
How would you grade Bobrovsky today?
There were some, I've watched Bob. I've watched him at his best, and I would assume, knowing Bob, that I think Bob would like to have those two shots back. Even those two going in, he had to fight through a lot of traffic today. He dealt with a lot of big bodies in front of him. I thought, the same thing every time about Bob. He battles and he competes on everything. But I think those two shots he'd probably like to have back.
Todd, do you expect the injuries to Blake Comer and Matt Calvert to be something that you'll have to deal with long term heading on the road this week? Or
you know what, I won't know. I don't know right now. I don't even know if I'll know tomorrow. I think we'll probably have some idea Monday morning. Guys have a day off tomorrow, and again, we'll see how these injuries go as far as just their bodies calming down a little bit, and then reassessing that on Monday.
What had flared up earlier this season?
Yeah, it's something that he had some troubles with through training camp, and it's started to flare up again. So it's just something that, again, we're just taking a look at and see where he's at.
You feel like, you were on the verge of being pretty close to fully healthy, at least with your active guys. Is this a bit troubling that you kind of have this small rash right now?
Yeah, I don't know if it's troubling, but as a coach, these are the things that you expect to happen in games. Now, I'm not talking about cuts. I'm just talking about injuries in general. Again, the speed that these guys play at and kind of the ferocity that the game is played at. I think you expect some bangs here and some nicks there, and you have an idea sometimes that somebody might miss 4 or 5 days. The ones that you aren't planning about are the long ones.
Todd, coaches like to have days where they can practice, I know, but are you looking forward to sort of a routine here now where the games are going to start picking up for you?
repetition for the players and as a coach as far as being able to teach. One of the good things about last year with playing all the games was you had no time to really breathe. I mean, and the players didn't either. And I think once they got comfortable with playing and comfortable with their games, it was obviously much easier to coach. It was much easier for the players to prepare and play. So you do like sometimes where you have the days where you can practice, you can focus on things, but it'd be nice to get into a little routine now of playing games more often.
Other than the fact that you would have liked to have taken the 2 points tonight, is this kind of an ideal game for a coach to head out on a road trip with? Because there's some positives to build on, but some very valuable lessons to learn as well.
You can get that from just about every game. It's disappointing that we lost. Because there were points I think out there. You're up 1-0. I think late in the second. Just coming off of a power play, we had the opportunity maybe to increase your lead, and instead it's a 1-1 game going into the locker room. And then to give up a goal early in the third, especially the way it was scored. It was a hard dump, and that hit off their player and kind of bounced. And our guys just didn't see it, so they weren't able to react to it. And a pass across, and again, I think it just found the perfect hole on Bob because he was over there, it just squeaked through.
It seems like each game you've had some moments where there's been some trouble getting it out of your own zone, or maybe some sloppy passing. Is that cause for concern, or is it, with today, is that partly just because of how the Bruins play?
Some of the credit has to go to the Bruins and how they play, but you're right, it is something that we're seeing now too regularly in games with the sloppy play, just not being able to execute coming out of our own zone. Some of it is under pressure, but some of it is just puck poise, and some of it is as far as teammates working for each other, so they're short little passes, so our puck support has to get better. But it is a concern of ours. We've talked about that as coaches. Nick Heaton's healthy, yes. Thanks.